Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In today's video we've got two stories and both of them have updates, so let's get started with the first one. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user ApprehensiveTie7252. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to have sex after my wife turned it into a reward and punishment system? I think my wife is experiencing a phenomenon called the 7-year itch right now. We have been married to each other for 7 years now and have not had any serious problems before. Around the end of 2023, she started offering sex for small gestures such as gifts and doing chores. For the last 7 years, and since I have been an independent adult, I have made sure to handle my share of chores. Now, she offered mind-blowing sex for me doing her part of the chores, which I enjoyed at first. Then it turned into gifts and gestures. Mind you, these had all been present in our relationship for the last 7 years. Nothing out of the ordinary. That change happened literally overnight. Great sex life, both take care of other parties' needs by communicating clearly and respecting their wishes. Even though it was good at first, it turned into a form of reward and punishment later on. You did not do X, no sex for you, or good, you did this, we can have sex. I asked her what the deal was with this. She did not do it before. She said she gets turned on and feels emotionally connected when I put on extra effort into the relationship. I just rolled my eyes at that. What did it even change overnight for it to happen? I should have asked it back then. It has been a few months since this started and I could not take it anymore. I started refusing her advances because it was such a turnoff for me. Yesterday, it all came to a head. She came to me and said, "You did the chores. I think you deserve a reward." I told her, "I do not know where you have seen this, but it's getting out of hand. I am not Pavlov's dog to whom you are giving treats or punishment. Communicate with me if there is something wrong, but this change you made overnight is ridiculous. Do you expect me to beg for it and obey you in every case? You are making me feel like I have not contributed anything to chores or did not show you any gestures before that. Just tell me what is happening, because if we are going to change every good aspect of our relationship because you saw it somewhere else, this relationship will die out faster than a candlestick." She stormed out crying and slept on the couch. I am now getting the cold shoulder. Did my wife turn into an 8-year-old child or what? What is this sudden change? Am I the a-hole for not wanting to have sex with her and calling out her behavior? I would appreciate advice, especially from women. Well, OP, in my opinion, no, you are not the a-hole, and even though I'm not a woman, I can definitely say that what she's doing and turning sex into a transactional thing between the two of you is not healthy for your relationship. Now, the way you said things, I did not get any impression that you were being disrespectful or, you didn't say you screamed at her or anything like that. So I believe that the way that you handled it was actually the right way. You told her, you know what, this thing that you're doing is a turnoff for me and it's definitely not helping our relationship. Then you asked her to communicate with you if there was anything going on. Like if there was anything in her mind, I don't know, maybe this is some sort of a fetish or a kink or something, I don't know. But you asked her to tell you, which is communication. So maybe she stormed off because she was embarrassed. I really don't know. What I do know, OP, is that you need to sit down with your wife and get to the bottom of this. It could be that she's following some misguided advice or she's traveling through some forums that are giving her wrong impressions regarding power dynamics in relationships. Whatever the case is, you need to talk to her. And what do you guys think? What is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section. And now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Primary Afternoon 46 says, "Not the a-hole. That's some weird power trip crap. If sex is made into a transactional thing, it's pretty well destroyed. Maybe she thinks she's doing some empowerment thing, but it sounds like she's going for all the power instead of half." And OP responds, "I can see she is frustrated herself for not having sex. Yesterday, I did not even do her part of the chores. She probably came to me with hopes of having sex. I cannot understand why she does that." We Love GV says, "I see two possibilities. 1, she decided she is into some kind of freedom kink. 2, she read an article about using positive reinforcement. Either way, she proceeded with it without having a conversation with you about it. Now she is emotionally manipulating you into groveling by giving you the cold shoulder. Just keep telling her that you were happy with life until this new thing started and that it makes you very uncomfortable, that you two should be equals. And RN Jinx 3 says, quote, I asked her what the deal with this is. She did not do it before. She said she gets turned on and feels emotionally connected when I put extra effort into the relationship. End quote. Translation, she likes feeling powerful, making you literally beg for sex like a dog with a treat or putting you in the doghouse for bad behavior. And she gets to be lazy and stop putting any effort into the relationship because she's banking on you not turning down mind-blowing sex. Response, and I feel turned off when you not only stop pulling your weight in the relationship, but start treating me like a dog doing tricks for a cookie. Not the a-hole. Your response was good on the nose too. Good job, OP. And no, I did not say that in a good boy kind of way. Additional information from OP's comments. At first, it was pleasant. Having good sex after some small gestures was good. It added a new dynamic to our relationship. It was good until it turned into a reward-punishment system and happened all the time. Now, we normally are good at telling each other what's going through our minds. However, she is giving me the cold shoulder and refuses to communicate now. I cannot understand what is happening. Why do I or she need to do something to make her or me want to make love? In general, that's disgusting. I am doing what a good lover does, and chores are not done by expecting something in return. And for those of you who are curious about our split, we live in a 155 square meter house and take care of our own spaces and shared spaces. I clean and organize my office and playroom, clean the big bathroom, make breakfast and lunch, and clean and organize the bedroom. She cleans and organizes the living room, small bathroom and hallway, and makes dinner. We take turns doing dishes and laundry. We do all the other cleaning together. We have a solid 50-50 arrangement. Also, I haven't become complacent in the relationship. We go out on weekend date nights, trips every quarter, and frequent gifts. Even after 7 years, I am playful and flirty with her, not because I want something in return, but because that's usually how I am. I am head over heels for her. Also, I can't take care of all the chores frequently in the house while working. It's a good gesture and fun from time to time, however, it's not sustainable, especially when it becomes a reward or punishment system. Alright, well, the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole, and they gave OP some ideas as to why this could be happening and how bad it could be for the relationship. And based on the additional context, I do get the idea that everything is pretty balanced out and that this thing is just kind of weird or out of the blue. In any case, it's time to move on to the update. But before that, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to please click that like button, write a comment about what you think in the comment section, and of course, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Now, let's continue with the update. I was planning to talk to my wife today, but surprisingly, she came to talk to me in the early morning during breakfast. She apologized and told me things I said made her understand she hurt me and felt terrible about that. She told me she took it too far without reading my reactions. I also apologized for telling her off like that and losing control of my emotions. We had a great discussion about what happened, why it happened, and our marriage in general. I asked her if she thought my gestures were not enough and that her share of chores was unfair. She said it's not like that and there is no problem with sharing chores or my gestures. She has been just feeling less confident, and adding a new dynamic to our relationship by making me try more made her feel better, just like before we were married. Also, she told me having fewer things to do, like chores, allowed her to focus on me completely and turn her on more. She also stated she was feeling shy initiating due to her confidence, and this dynamic helped her initiate. I asked if she was happy with our sex life and me, and she said she is more than happy and the reward and punishment thing has nothing to do with it. My final question was if she had this kind of kink. She said maybe. She felt good playing like that, but accepted that turning our whole sex life into this was terrible of her. I agreed while it was good in the beginning, turning the whole sex life into a reward-punishment system and doing it all the time became a problem. I told her I was okay with that kind of play or any kind of play as long as it was communicated. I am a freak, so it's no problem from my side. We did talk more about private things, but ultimately communicated our thoughts and feelings to each other clearly. She told me maybe I should reward her for being a good girl this time, and this awakened something sleeping in me. I do not know if I will be able to wait for the night. We have 2 date nights per week, and tonight is one of them. Now, I asked her where she got this idea from, and according to her, she said she had read about it in an article and a book. I'm not sure of the details, I did not ask further, but I would assume it's a psychology or marriage-related book. Not a great one, I would think. Also, for those of you suggesting smut for us to spite things up, thank you, but no. We do not watch smut, as it's considered as a boundary in our relationship. Finally, there were some people demonizing my wife and telling me to divorce or find an affair right away. On the other hand, some declared I was a deadbeat husband abusing my wife by making her mommy me, even though I clearly stated in the post it's not like that. Why do some people love assuming things with zero information like that to make one party guilty? Chill. The problem is solved, and I would say with that challenge, our love and sex life will level up from the looks of it. Thank you for all the suggestions and help. Cheers. Well, OP, it sounds to me like it's a happy ending for you both. Hold on a minute, that's a poor choice of words for the situation. Or maybe not. Let's just say it's the best outcome possible. You guys communicated with each other. You both took accountability for what you think you did wrong, apologized to the other person, and came up together with a plan to move forward. And I believe that's as good as it gets. So congratulations to the both of you, OP, and here's wishing you the best in the future. Take care and thank you for sharing. And now let's move on to the next post that, like I said in the beginning, also has an update. This post is also from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user CatOwn. Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for my friend's wedding because she uninvited me? Okay, so here's the deal. My friend, let's call her Sarah, and I have been tight since high school. We've been through everything together. Breakups, makeups, you name it. So when she got engaged, I was over the moon for her. Fast forward to a few months before the wedding, and Sarah sends out the invitations, and I am psyched to RSVP. But then, out of nowhere, she texts me saying that she's had to cut down the guest list due to budget constraints, and unfortunately, I didn't make the cut. I was devastated. I get that weddings are expensive, but to uninvite me after we've been friends for so long? Ouch. Fast forward again to the wedding day, and I see all these photos on social media, and it looks like a fairy tale. But here's the kicker. Sarah texts me later that week asking for money to help cover the wedding costs. Apparently, they went over budget, and she's asking all the guests who didn't attend to chip in. I was floored. Not only did she uninvite me, but now she expects me to foot the bill for a wedding I didn't even go to? I told her no way, I refused to pay a single dime. But now she's saying I'm being selfish and unsupportive. Am I the a-hole here, Reddit, or is Sarah out of line for expecting me to pay for her mistake? What? No, OP, you're not the a-hole, and you said it in that last sentence, expecting you to pay for her mistake. This is an adult we're talking about, right? I mean, she did get married, so I'm assuming adult life is something she's been doing, if not for a while, at least she has some sort of idea of what it is. And if she doesn't, well, this is just as good a time as any to learn that lesson. Now, the only way I would consider giving Sarah any kind of money is if I previously owed her for anything. Like if I was in debt with her and she needed the money back, sure, then I'd do whatever I can to give her the money back. But it doesn't seem like that's the case here. It seems like she just really planned poorly, and even with cutting people out of the wedding, she still planned poorly and now wants a bailout from the people that didn't go to the wedding. That's some entitlement, man. So again, OP, no, I don't think you'd be the a-hole, but I do think you would do yourself a service to really think about this kind of friendship. And what do you guys think? What is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's go check out what the community had to say. Trailsia says, not the a-hole, and I hope you know you are. I would stop this friendship entirely, send her a few laughing emojis and gifs, and then block her. One of the tackiest things I have ever heard. Speedy89T says, no, you're not. Asking for money, especially from people who didn't get invited, is one of the most absurd things I've ever heard in my entire life. Forget Regret One Day says, wow, Sarah has balls of steel and the IQ of a flea. Who does that? Then she calls you selfish and unsupportive? I'd tell her which circle of hell to drop off on, to lose my number and buy her cheap ass an etiquette book. She's not a friend, she's a delusional narcissist with no sense. She's shown who she is, believe her and move on, not the a-hole. Then OP writes her own comment. More context. This happened about a week ago and I tried talking to her about it again. She relented that the two have been having financial struggles and this time she respected me not wanting to pay for her wedding. However, she still wants me to consider helping out in other ways, like pitching in for the honeymoon or contributing to future expenses. I appreciate that she's acknowledging her financial difficulties, but it still feels like she's trying to guilt trip me into footing the bill for her wedding in some form or another. I'm torn because on one hand, I want to be supportive and help her out during a tough time, but on the other hand, I can't shake off the feeling that I'm being taken advantage of. I'm not sure how to proceed from here. Should I continue to stand my ground and refuse any further financial involvement, or should I try to find a compromise that works for both of us? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Alright, well I think the community was pretty clear with OP in their initial responses to OP's original post. The additional context does kind of help out a little bit, but I'm not sure if OP heard what the community was saying, if she's still asking for a way to compromise or any more advice, and I don't think she needs anything else. She was judged not to be the a-hole and that this isn't a relationship that would be beneficial for her to keep. And if OP still feels like she's being taken advantage of, then there's no need for further advice here. Anyways, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. Hey everyone, OP here with an update about refusing to pay for my friend's wedding because she uninvited me. Firstly, I want to express my gratitude to all 700 plus of you who took the time to read my story and offer your thoughts. Your support and perspectives have been invaluable during this challenging time. So, Sarah saw the post and confronted me. Things got heated. There was yelling, emotions ran high, and in the end, I made the difficult decision to stop contacting Sarah. During our confrontation, Sarah didn't elaborate much on her reasoning behind expecting those who didn't attend to still contribute financially to the wedding. It seemed to stem more from frustration and hurt over feeling abandoned by friends who chose not to attend her wedding, rather than a logical stance as other friends in our circle distanced themselves. Nonetheless, it's been a learning experience for me and I'm grateful for the insights gained through this process. And by that, I mean that she has become too toxic in recent years. While it was a tough choice to make, I realized that the toxicity in our relationship had reached a point where it was no longer healthy for either of us. Despite my initial hopes for reconciliation, it became clear that certain underlying issues in our friendship needed to be addressed and resolved before any meaningful progress could be made. Going no contact was not a decision I made lightly, but rather one born out of necessity for my own well-being and mental health. It's never easy to distance yourself from someone you care about, but sometimes it's necessary for personal growth and healing. I want to thank everyone once again for their support and encouragement throughout this journey. Your words have been a source of strength and comfort during a challenging time in my life. Moving forward, I'm focused on prioritizing self-care and surrounding myself with positive influences. While it's sad to say goodbye to a friendship that once meant so much to me, I'm hopeful that this decision will ultimately lead to greater happiness and fulfillment in the long run. Well, OP, I think it's a good thing that you've taken this step. Sure, of course it's sad when somebody so important to you just leaves your life like this, but, well, apparently the writing was on the wall since you said that she has become toxic over time, and if there is no indication of any kind of change, then yeah, you've made the right choice. So on that note, here's wishing you the best in the future, OP. Thank you for sharing and take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.